Enjoy this free preview from MyOutdoorTV. With the largest library of outdoor shows, we're the home of the adventurous, the champions, the legends. MyOutdoorTV. Try us free.
Red Rising is presented by Foggy Bottom Outdoors. Protect and preserve.
I never thought we would make it this far or this long, but welcome to Season 9 of Red Rising.
This year, as always, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of surprises.
Just like the last couple seasons, it was a grind.
It's truly just been one of those weeks, years, months, everything. Nothing has went right to this point.
But we stayed disciplined, we stayed after it, and you know what? A couple big deer hit the ground.
I think I just shot a maggot. If you don't love this stuff, something's wrong with you, man. Fired up.
This year, as always, we're heading to Iowa, Kansas, Virginia, North Carolina, Texas. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride.
All right, so we're going to roll right into what matters for Season 9. Every year we have a friendly competition for bragging rights between the four of us.
Matt has absolutely never heard this before, but his is bigger.
I hate your guts so bad.
It was a great season, and I'm not sure if it's probably a toss-up if you ask me.
I was more prepared this year than I have been in years past.
Got some big deer to bring for you. Matt, you know what? Matt's doing what Matt does. He loves to hunt, he loves to kill things.
Unbelievable. Look at that whitetail.
John, like always, shows up and produces every single year. And Chris Ward, my brother, hey, he's one of the best hunters I know on the East Coast.
I knew they had to break loose, and apparently they did.
It's been a tough bow season for everybody. I'm happy to put my tag on this deer tonight.
Saddle up, I think you guys are gonna love it.
We have never started with a Matt Bullen's North Carolina hunt because it hasn't been there, but this year's a little different.
Absolutely unreal. I tagged out in North Carolina for the first time.
So we're going to start this year off in North Carolina in Matt's home state.
Here it is, Season 9 coming at you right now.
Are you on him? He's there, baby. Man, that happened quick.
If we had this hunt on film, you wouldn't believe it.
Look at that whitetail right there. Unbelievable. What a morning here.
Just smoked my giant.
Moments like these are few and far between.
I don't know why everybody doesn't do this.
North Carolina, 1 million deer, probably, I think the last time I saw a statistic, it said 300 to 400,000 deer hunters. If you're a deer, your odds are really good you're gonna run into a deer hunter. And then you got Matt Bullens.
And let me tell you something about Matt. I don't know if it's just the properties that he has permission to hunt or he's just lucky. He gets on more big deer than anybody I've ever seen in this area. Now, I'm not saying he kills a lot of big deer, due to misses, the deer was too close, I hit a limb, I hit a tree, I hit the side of a barn.
I hit him. I think you missed. Did I miss him?
It's just every excuse in the world, but he can get on deer.
Matt always has more deer to hunt in North Carolina than Chris, Eric, or myself combined in Virginia.
He's an opportunistic hunter.
Age before beauty, people. I don't know how old he is, but he's old enough, and I've got me a buck deer on the ground.
So if he gets an opportunity, it's something he likes, deer-wise, deer size, he's gonna take it. Love it or hate it, you gotta respect it.
I'm one of these guys that, hey, if I've got a great big deer, great. If he shows up, I'll shoot him, but if he don't, and I've got pictures of another deer that I'll shoot, I'm gonna shoot that deer if it shows up.
We pick on Matt a whole lot, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. The guy hunts constantly. I mean constantly. His kids are in sports and he works full time, but it's almost every single evening he's like, I'm hitting it again. And even days that there's no way that I would go out and hunt, it's 80, 90 degrees, he's out there and he's swinging for the fence every time.
Typically you would see that I've got cameras running, I'm pouring the gold digger out, and I'm getting tons of pictures of some pretty good bucks right here in the mountains. Not the case this year. We had a case of CWD in Yadkin County, North Carolina a while back, and that is a county that is very close to where I hunt. So what happened was the DNR made a primary and secondary zone within a certain mile radius of that county that they put a feed restriction on until September. So wasn't able to get out, wasn't able to supplemental feed until deer season was about to start.
One of the things I love about North Carolina is the fact that you can bait, okay? You can feed. It's not just about baiting, it's about feeding, right? With Foggy Bottom, it's not just feeding, it's herd health. It's a nutritional program, and it starts January 1, runs all the way to the end of December. And Matt is as good as anybody I know on his team for feeding his deer.
So I thought, what am I gonna do in the meantime, and what's my game plan now? Am I gonna wing it? Am I gonna go ahead and put some cameras out on some trails and see if I can get some pictures? You know, what am I gonna do? And I thought, if I go ahead and put these cameras out and I don't get any pictures, that's just gonna frustrate me even more. And some of these places I hunt, these big ridges come together, and these big bucks, there's so many acorns. We had a dry year, there's so many acorns this year crop falling that these big bucks literally have to get up, walk 30 yards, eat, and go back to bed. I knew I was just gonna be kicking myself if I put cameras out, because I knew I wasn't gonna get any pictures. So I thought, well, I guess I'm gonna step back, go to plan B, and do more prep work this year for when season gets here instead of procrastinating.
This segment is brought to you by Quiet Cat, outfitted for a wide range of adventures. You can get into the backwoods faster and quieter with Quiet Cat's line of rugged and powerful electric bikes. Scan the QR code for the latest special offers. This segment is brought to you by Sportsman's Guide. Save money on outdoor gear and join the Buyers Club at sportsmansguide.com. Members save an extra 10% on most items and 5% on guns and ammo. Get over to sportsmansguide.com and join the Buyers Club today. Red Rising is brought to you by Herd Health by Foggy Bottom Outdoors. Protect and preserve. Quiet Cat, the most capable hunting and overlanding e-bike on the planet. Arkin Optics USA, rugged precision at an affordable price. The Silent Rider, ATV exhaust silencer. Sportsman's Guide Buyers Club at sportsmansguide.com. And Buck Forage Oats, the best food plot variety in the world.
Leased a couple new farms this year. My buddy Brent and I went in on a lease with him on a spot that's super rugged, super rigid. It's up on the side of a mountain, a lot of black bears, but some big whitetails to say the least. We leased this farm, trying to do some improvements to it, maybe get some food plots in. But for now, the game plan was to get this Maverick 6-shooter set up on what we're hoping will be a power line strip that we can put a food plot in.
Just got this brand new Maverick 6-shooter elevated platform system at a brand new spot, and this is a food plot. We've got to get it in and reseed it. Hadn't been sowed in 2 or 3 years, but reap what you sow. Obviously food plot, but this has been an absolute job today getting this up. We parked down this hill and had to carry all the equipment up, the blind up, everything by hand. Took a ladder, flattened it out, walked the blind up on the platform, and it's ready to go. Cut a few lanes, food plot here, and we're gonna kill a big buck or a bear right here this fall.
On top of that, I leased another new property just down the road from my house. It's a beautiful piece of property. It's got a couple of big ridges, got a lot of hardwoods that flow right down into about a 40-acre field.
You can see behind me, beautiful view of Blue Ridge Mountains, and we have pumpkins in this particular spot on this farm that I lease, and I have a brand new Maverick 5-shooter GX that I'm getting ready to elevate on the platform system in this field. And my dad, my son, and I are here today gonna try to find the right spot, get this thing semi set up, if not completely set up today, so that it'll be ready for opening day. Acorns are starting to drop, that's a good thing, but I know the deer are coming to this pumpkin field, and we'll get this blind set up, put out some covert cameras, and try my best to see if we can take inventory of the big buck right here on this farm.
Summertime for me is super busy. My kids play sports. I'm always either coaching, on a field, in a gym, or somewhere in between. We have football every Saturday, something usually going on Sunday, practice 3, 4, 5 nights a week during the week. So my schedule is slammed most of all summer, and especially August, September, and October. So I typically have to figure out and try to plan ahead what days and weekends that I'm able to hunt. You know, typically this time of the year, I already know what bucks are on every farm, and I've already got a game plan on which 2 or 3 bucks I'm gonna hone in on by the time season starts. But this year, the stress was on, the pressure was on, because, you know, I had about 10 days to start feeding, find a deer, and figure out how I was gonna implement a game plan to kill him. I knew it was gonna be slammed, it was gonna be tight this year, but I was gonna go 100% full force at it, and I was gonna try my best to kill 2 deer at home this season.
This segment is brought to you by Numa Outdoors, best-in-class hunting gear. High-quality materials, revolutionary technology, and low-profile patterns, all backed by a lifetime warranty. Numa, vital for the hunt. This segment is brought to you by Maverick Hunting. With true 360-degree viewing, a lightweight 2-piece design that is extremely portable and made with the durability to last a lifetime. Your hunt, your way, your story.
So finally, the calendar is flipped. September is here. Deer season opens the second Saturday in September in North Carolina every year. And this year, like I said, they had some restrictions, but now I can finally start feeding. You know, I start pouring the corn out. I'm sort of topping it with Herd Health. I've got Gold Digger, and it didn't take long for these deer to find it.
With the number of bucks he was getting pictures of, we were all just taking a bet on how long it was gonna take him to fill both tags.
He's sending me trail cam pick after trail cam pick. You know, not giants, but good deer for this area.
So after racking my brain for a couple days on which spot I really wanted to spend the most time in, when I did get the opportunity to go, I decided, hey, I'm going to my #1 spot, Old Faithful. I've killed a bunch of deer out of this spot. You've seen some of them on prior seasons. The spot where I typically have my stand, these deer were approaching from a different direction this year for some odd reason. I had a Summit lock on, moved it about 50 yards across the ditch line, and it was absolutely the perfect spot.
Just finished hanging this stand. I'm up in about 30 feet. You can see hash down here, pouring out more foggy bottom. Got this set up, chasing a big buck here. Cannot wait to get in here this weekend, hopefully, or by Monday. You can see him, that's about 30 yards. Set up beautiful in this tree. It's surrounded by cover. So, with any luck, old big boy will show up down there where hash is at next couple days while I'm here.
Set a couple times, seen a bunch of deer, just hadn't seen what I was looking for. Finally, I started getting trail cam pictures of this one buck in particular. Wasn't a giant, but he was a solid mature deer, and he is like clockwork morning and afternoon, almost every day. So at this point, I'm thinking there's no way this deer is going to keep doing what he's doing. There's just no way. They never do. It just doesn't work like that. Well, every day, I keep looking, he keeps showing up, and it gets closer and closer to this front rolling through, and I've got this window of opportunity that I can get in there and hunt. I mean, he was there sometimes 3 and 4 times a day during daylight, and I thought, if you'll just do this a couple more days, there's a front coming through, and I've got a break in sports and practice. I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get a crack at you. I just know it. Finally, my time's here, front's pushed through, the weather is perfect. I've moved this stand across the ditch line just specifically for this deer. I knew this deer, the way he was coming to this stand and approaching it, I had to be on this other side of the ditch for the wind to hit me right in the face, and I was gonna get a crack at this deer.
I've got a big deer in this area. I saw him from 125 yards west a couple days ago, so we made this move just to this spot to see if I could get a crack at him. So I circled, come all the way around the backside just to get in here, hoping not to spook him. So self-filming, temperatures are dropping, perfect wind. Let's hope he shows up this afternoon and sticks his head in that foggy bottom right there about 25 yards. So fingers crossed.
So I get set up, beautiful afternoon. I've got the crossbow with me, self-filming. Deer start funneling through early. It's 4 o'clock and there's already deer filling in, eating acorns, milling around, and some of them coming into the Foggy Bottom eating. And it wasn't long that I look up and just off my left shoulder, I catch a glimpse of a big rack. Well, I catch a glimpse of him and I see him. I get my binos up and I knew exactly which deer it was. I was like, yep, I will shoot you. He's about 80 yards from that point. So I go ahead, get my crossbow up, get the camera flipped on. Knew pretty much which trail he was going to walk, and slowly but surely, here he comes.
This segment is brought to you by Code Blue and their industry-leading scent technology products. The brand backed by science, proven by results. Code Blue, field tested, proven effective. This segment is brought to you by Traditions Performance Firearms, the most extensive line of muzzleloaders in the industry. From break action to side locks to the revolutionary Nitro Fire, there is truly something for everyone. Feel the difference. Red Rising is brought to you by Outdoor Edge, the leader in replaceable blade hunting knives. Scott Archery, release with confidence. Covert Cameras, keep it covert. Carbon Express, shoot better. Slick Trick, the deadliest broadhead, period. Diamondback, the toughest, most secure truck covers. Alps Outdoors, exceed your expectations. 10-point crossbows, perfection lives here. Capsule feeders, easy to use, easy to fill. CBE, custom bow equipment. And Summit Tree Stands, hunting elevated.
This deer makes his way up through here just as pretty as he can please, and he's headed directly to the Foggy Bottom. I'm ready. I've double-checked my camera. I'm on record. I've got it on him. I've got my crossbow ready. Everything's set up. I've already got it ranged. It's 24 yards, chip shot from crossbow. And he rolls in, sticks his nose down. Pull the trigger, knew I hit him, sounded like it hit a tree, a complete pass through, deer bolts, and I'm like, you know, what just happened?
I just shot a good one, and I mean a good one.
Well, the deer bolts up the hill to the right and runs out of my sight. I can't see him. I had no idea where he's at. I thought he'd probably run up the hill and fell over. 5-6 minutes later, I catch a glimpse of a deer coming back down the ridge where that deer just run. So I get my binos up, and I look, and it's him. And he was hurt bad, I could tell. I couldn't get any footage of him from where my camera was, but I just watched him. Well, he walks directly in front of me at about 80 yards and fell over. Just fell over right behind a tree. Dead deer, right there he is. 80 yards in front of me, dead deer.
100% fully mature deer right here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Unbelievable way to start off my season. Phone call I'll never get tired of making. Shooting a deer and calling my dad to let him know. Yeah, I watched him fall. He's laying out here about 70 yards from me. Just thankful that I have him still to give a call to. He's been dealing with some health complications and that terrible word that nobody wants to hear, cancer. And, you know, he's looking forward to deer season, and he loves when he gets that call that I've shot a deer, or somebody he knows shot a deer, or that I get that call he's shot a deer. So first call I'll make always, as long as I can, is to him. Wow, unbelievable afternoon right here in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
All right, so I just climbed down. I've got a tree marked. Hadn't moved in 45 minutes, so I thought, hey, this deer's got to be dead. Check this bolt. We're going to ease up here. I'm going to cock this crossbow just to be sure and load it again. Just in case, because I've had plenty of surprises the last couple of years. He just jumped up and took off. That dude just seriously just jumped up and took off.
I get about 40 yards from him, and he picks his head up, looks at me. I look at him, and we both had that oh no moment. He jumps up, bolts back down the hill, out of sight. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Every whitetail hunter, especially an archery hunter, has been in this position.
Matt called and he was a little bit worried about the shot. And we've said this a million times, but there's always new viewers. When in doubt, back out. Just take a breath. If you got a cool night coming, it'll be okay. Get back on that deer first thing in the morning.
He just bolted at a 45 right toward that creek bottom. He was huffing and puffing, so I guess we're gonna get out of here and come back in the morning.
So the day after, myself and the game warden went back out, and we just couldn't find him. I mean, we searched, we grid searched, we looked for blood, we ran out of blood. And I thought, man, what a way to start off a season. You know a deer's dead, and you just cannot put your hands on him. It's the most infuriating feeling you can imagine as a whitetail hunter. Well, about 3 days after I shot the deer, I get a call from Brent. He said, hey man, you want to put your hands on that deer you shot? He said, I'm standing here with him.
This is one of my best friends, local game warden, Brent Hodges. He decides to take a stroll this morning the opposite direction and come in, and he sent me the marker on hunt stand, literally 73 yards from where I jumped him at the bedding spot where I thought he fell over and died. So I'm gonna punch my tag, get my hands on him, and you're gonna see a Blue Ridge Mountain buck right here in just a minute. Man, they don't get no better than this. These are the deer that we love chasing, these Blue Ridge Mountain runners. So heck of a way to start off my season. Gonna see if I can tag another one right here in the great state of North Carolina.
Hats off to him for just keeping going, and he did not give up. And at the end of the trail, he found a great deer. Congratulations, Matt.
You know, that's the one thing I respect about Matt. The more years I hang around him, is he's consistent. He just likes to hunt, and if we can't rejoice in that, then I don't think any of us need to call ourselves hunters.
Well, congrats to Matt. You got it done in your home state of North Carolina. First one on the board for Red Rising. Good job, brother.
Hey everybody, stay tuned. Next week, we're just gonna cross the border into Virginia. You're gonna watch Chris chase some big bucks in the Old Dominion.
I gotta make something happen. Holding out for the big one now. He looked darn good to me. You talk about a Virginia Ridge Runner right there.
Closed captioning provided by Elite Archery, the world's most shootable bow.